Hey everybody, Red Mage here. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I want to show you guys my dice. I've got lots of dice, not just these two here, although I really do like these guys. Nice, big, green, kind of squishy D6s. But I have a whole bunch of really cool dice that I've gotten over the years. Really, I've only been collecting, well, I've been collecting for a long, long time, but most of my collection I had to get rid of. For a number of reasons. So I started afresh maybe 5 years ago. And so I've been collecting dice off and on since then. And more recently, I've gotten some really interesting ones. Now, ever since I started the YouTube channel, people have been sending me stuff. And some people have started to send me physical stuff, not just, books and PDFs, but dice. So I wanted to show off a couple sets that I've been sent as well. So this will be a little bit of a review a little bit later on in the video. But I also wanted to take this as an opportunity to challenge you guys. Now, I know a lot of my subscribers are longtime Dungeon Masters. And I think it would be cool to get a thing going where people show off their dice collections. So I'm going to at a whole bunch of other DungeonTubers in the description of this video. And I don't know, I think it would be really cool if you guys showed off your dice collections too. Maybe you don't have that many. Maybe you have a massive collection that you couldn't really show off in a video. But maybe you can talk about a particular few sets that you have or go through, the major ones, or if you have a cool die that you think this is a really, really unique thing and you want to show that off. I don't know. Maybe it's a short, maybe it's an hour-and-a-half video, whatever. I think it would be really cool if we got just kind of a trend going. So I'm going to try it. We'll see. Maybe no one will respond, in which case, hey, at least I'll have this video and I can just, talk about dice for a little bit. At any rate, I'm going to start off by showing you some of my sets. Now, I have a whole bunch of dice. I got a pound of dice a while back, and I'm not really going to bother with a lot of those because it's just generic, dice. I want to show you the more unique full sets or maybe some interesting one-off dice that I have. So anyway, I like these guys, but we're going to set those aside. I'm going to start off with a couple of the dice that I've gotten more recently. In particular, this is a set that I got with the Dolmenwood book. They're cool, but I've shown them off on the channel before. You guys can see them. They're kind of mushroomy dice. They've got mushrooms at the highest number for each of the dice, as you can see there. They're cool. They're a little hard to read, but they're good dice. And I'm happy that I have them. I showed them to my nephews, and my one nephew kind of fell in love with them, so he's been using them when we play. He really, really likes them. So I'm glad that someone really, really is really into them, because they're a little faint for me. But I'm glad that I have them nonetheless. They're cool looking. Here's another set that I got more recently when I went to the Las Vegas Open at the beginning of, the end of September, beginning of October. It's sort of these rune dice. I'm not sure if you can see them. They're really cool. They're very, very thin. On here, they look a little more orange than they are in person. They're actually pink. This is a D2, right? It's a little coin. But you get the whole set, and the highest number, or many of the numbers, have this sort of rune design. Oh, we're going to see if I can actually get the camera in focus there. It's a normal D4. But you get some cool ones. There, so you see that's the 8. Looks kind of cool, but it has this kind of interesting rune effect. You get the 0 there. Ooh, let's see if I can focus. Yeah, there's the rune for the D100. 6. But you can see they're very see-through. And it makes them very interesting to roll because they're red and they're pink, and you can kind of, but when they're against a darker surface, you can read them pretty clearly. But sometimes, like for example the D2, it's actually sometimes hard to see which side is face up when you're looking at them at a glance. But they're nice looking. They're kind of a nice, I don't know, I think they're really interesting looking. Again, I got them in a bundle of swag from LVO, so I actually don't know exactly where they're from. Otherwise, I would direct you guys to them because they're kind of cool and they're very light. Hey, I got heads. I like them. Once again, I'm glad that I have them. Okay, a couple other things that I got recently. These are the dice that come with the D&D Beyond the Borderlands, or whatever it's called, the starter set. They're really, they're good, solid. They're solid dice. They're okay. Can't really see them too well. They're just standard red dice. It's an interesting set. It comes with 2 D20s and the standard D4 or 4D6. So, it's just a standard set of dice. It's okay. They're nice and resin and plasticky. They feel fine. Not, you know, they're not super memorable, but they're also totally competent dice, and they're legible, although, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this particular shade of red. It's fine. They're very loud dice, but they're cool. Again, I don't mind those so much. Okay, just a couple more boring sets, I promise, and I'll show you some more interesting things. These are ones, okay, so this is my favorite shade of green. I love green dice, and I got these. This was like the first set of dice that I bought when I was restarting my collection, because I just like a set of green dice. I don't know why. I love green and white, and I just want that. You'll notice that a lot of my dice are green. It's my favorite color. But these are just something about this particular color. They're great. Totally good set of dice, but they're just pretty boring, right? Pretty boring dice. I did get some dice from the... this is just sort of a set of dragon dice. And they have a dragon at the highest number, a little dragon in flight. And they look kind of cool, the nice red and gold. My problem with them is that they're weighted noticeably badly. They roll poorly. I just rolled a 2 on the D20. It rolls very badly. So I don't know what it is, but it's weighted horribly. I got this from my friendly local game store, and I was like, oh, these are so cool, dragon dice. There's a 7. But they just don't roll well. There's a 4. There's a 15. Okay, that's not so bad. Oh, 17. Okay. 16. There we go. There's a 1. I knew I was going to get a 1. I think I got 3 1s in a row with this die. Maybe it was just 2, and then I got like a 3 or 4 or something. I just remember it being really bad. So anyway, these dice are just never used. I never use these, because if I'm a DM, I don't want to be rolling 1s. And if I'm a player, I really don't want to be rolling 1s. So I just never use this set. It looks cool, but that weighted die is... And you know, it's not like weighted in a fun way, right? It's not weighted in a way that... Although, it is something that I can use to my advantage if I want to go easy on the players, and I still want to roll, right? I could do that. I could look at it that way. Okay, here's a more interesting set of dice. These are Jade dice. These are really, really beautiful. They're cool to the touch, and they are a nice shade of green with white in there and then gold lettering. These were actually rather expensive. They're very pretty. I love these dice. I use them quite a lot, but I have to be careful with them. And unfortunately, I wasn't careful with them. And the D8 chipped. I'm not sure if you can see that chip at the top. Yeah, see? It's not really focusing in on the chip, but there we go. Yeah, there you go. The D8 broke. It landed on concrete. Bounced right off the table. So ever since then, I haven't used them as much, and I've been more careful with them. Because these were expensive dice, and I'm like, oof, oof, I just broke the D8. It was sad. I got these on Etsy. I don't remember the exact shop's name. I like Etsy for, first of all, I like supporting small businesses and, you know, people who are kind of just on there doing their own die thing. This one actually probably was a bigger business. But anyway, I tend to like Etsy. And so here are some, you know, these are nice dice. They roll well, they feel beautiful, they feel really nice to the touch. But I just have to be careful with them, and it was a sore lesson learned. Breaking a D8, not a fun experience. Not breaking a Jade D8. I mean, it still rolls, and I haven't noticed that it rolls one way. It seems fine in terms of its weight still, even though it's got a chunk out of it. I know it's not actually weighted well now, but it isn't. I'm not, you know, it doesn't noticeably roll a 1 or something like that. And the other dice are fine. But ever since I broke it, I've been sad when I look at them. So I tend to not. Oh well. I can see that it's cracked here. Never really noticed that before, but it's got a nice crack along that seam too. So you just gotta be careful if you're gonna get beautiful dice like this and you have a concrete floor, which I do. So definitely rolling in dice trays from here on out. Okay, this is a set that I got from a group of my players bought me these metal dice. And it was really cool when they did. They're just the standard metal dice that you can get. You know, they're kind of smallish. The D6 is rather small. It's not a big set of dice there. but they're fun, and I always like metal dice. I like the sound of them. I like the feel of them in my hand. I like the cool feeling. When I'm playing D&D, I get pretty worked up and excited, and like I get pretty hot. And so having some nice cool dice to hold in your hand, it's a nice contrast to the excitement of the game. So I'm always a big fan of metal dice, and these ones are just a nice standard set of metal. You know, I think probably everyone should have a set of metal dice, just for fun. Anyway, I think I got, yes, anyway, these ones I didn't get. These ones my players gave me as a thank you. It was a going away present when I left California. So it was really cool, and a beautiful set there. Speaking of metal dice, these are probably my favorite dice that I own currently. These are dragon scale dice. You can see them. I've shown them off on the channel before, but they are really cool looking. They look like dragon scales, and they have a beautiful texture. They feel like scales, but not in like a slimy, cold way. They feel really cool texture. They're fun to play with. And they're heavy and metal. So you don't have to be precious with these. You can really kind of fling these around. They'll scrape up the floor. This D4 is really sharp and actually fairly heavy. And all of them are pretty, like this is a good solid amount of weight in my hand right here. Now, I got these on Etsy as well, and these are expensive. I put a link in my other video where I showed them, and someone checked it out, and they were like, whoa, dude, that's a lot for some dice. And I agree, this is a lot of money for a set of dice, but when I saw it, I couldn't say no. I had to grab it. I love these dice. They look so good. A nice green and blue. You don't know if the blue's coming through so well in the video, but they have a nice blue look to them in the right sheen, and especially between the scales. Then there's that gold lettering and some gold highlight on some of the scales. Yeah. And it rolls well too. Like, it doesn't noticeably roll well or badly. It's not weighted. So there's a 20. There's a 15. There's a 6. So it rolls pretty well. And again, this is my current set of dice that I always tend to have these out. I tend to have 2 or 3 sets in my dice tray when I'm running games, and that way I can switch between them quickly. And this is one that's now in my current rotation, and I'm playing with it all the time. So it's a good set, solid set of dice. And those are fun. Okay, so those are many of my regular sets of... Now I have some more. I have some more sets of the standard 7, or the standard, yeah, standard 7 dice. 7, yeah, standard 7. These ones are just actually rather boring, I have to admit. They're just plastic, little resin dice. They're kind of cool looking. They have a nice color to them. But they're just the standard dice, and I haven't really used this set, I have to admit, ever. I got it as, so it was part of, like, it was the one complete set in the pound of dice. So it was just kind of a random set. I didn't specifically buy this. But, you know, hey, it's another set of complete dice, and I can give that to somebody. These ones are kind of cool. I don't know if I got this with a particular set of something, but they're pirate dice, sort of. They're skull and crossbones dice, or rather just skull dice. And they have skulls at the highest number. So it's a good piratey set. I don't know where I got these, honestly. I don't remember. You can see that there's skulls there. Have you seen our helmets, Hans? They've got skulls on them. Are we the baddies? Anyway, these are great. Yeah, these are super, super cool dice. And they're really light. I don't know what that is, but I don't think I own a set of dice that's this light. They feel like any single, the D20 feels really, really light. It's kind of funny, almost. I don't know. I don't know what the deal with that is, especially when you compare it to like the metal. It's a crazy contrast. I've never felt dice that are this light before. I don't know. If, I'm sure that throws off something, but I haven't used them terribly too much because I haven't run a pirate game. But when I do, these are the pirate dice that the GM will use, for sure. Cool, 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 cool. All right, now I want to show you guys some of those dice that I was sent. This will be a bit of the review section, and then I'll get back to other dice in a minute. Now, Dice Nest is the company that has sent me several dice in the past, and for these next 3 sets that I'm going to show you guys really briefly, I will include a link in the description where if you guys download those dice, you get a discount. Now, I don't get any benefit from this. I don't have a commission with them or anything like that. So this is not, I don't get any money if you guys send me these dice. But again, full disclosure, I was sent these 3 sets for the purposes of showing you guys, and they gave me that discount code for you guys as well if you'd like it. These dice are pretty expensive, all 3 sets. The cheapest are $40. The other 2 are much more expensive. So this is a high-end set of dice, and it really shows. Now, these are the dice that I've shown off before. They come in this nice little leatherette cover, and they are beautiful in blue. I've shown those off before, so I'm not going to go into too much detail here. In fact, I've talked about them on multiple occasions. This is my other favorite set of dice that I currently own. These are gem dice. They're beautiful. They are sharp. They're so appealing. When I got these, I will admit, I just played with them and stared at them for a long time. Felt very dragonish. But they're very nice dice. I was worried that they would scuff up, and if you look really closely, you'll see, you can't really see, the camera cannot show this off, but I can see that there's a few little faint scratches if you look really close into the, because as you roll them together, they kind of scratch each other a little bit. So, but it's really faint, and it hasn't shown up on any. You can't really tell from anything you really have to hold them right up to your eye to see the scratches, and again, it's very, very faint. But you just get a beautiful color to them. If I can get that to focus, you get a beautiful color to them. Yeah, so those are a really nice set, and again, they were very generous to send me all of these. So that's the basic one I've shown before. Now the next one I have to say, so this is if you have the money to buy it, and it's expensive, it's like $90, $80 for these. You get a discount with my code, it might bring it down a little bit. This is like a high-end set of dice if you really, really want, a quality, beautiful, luxury dice set. And some people do. I know I'm grateful that I have it. These ones, I have to admit, I'm not going to have a very high review for. And it has nothing to do with the quality of the dice themselves. They're really, really beautiful, as you're going to see. These ones are this sort of dark green. Oops, let's see if I can turn the color here. Dark green. Get it to focus, maybe? Well, it's not really focusing. Makes it a little bit. Oh, there we go. A beautiful darkish green. But my problem with them, as you can probably tell just from this, is that they're very hard to read. And looking on their website, it seems as if this is like a second iteration of these dice, and I think the first set were even harder to read. But the black numbers on the sort of material, now the green is cool because from the right angle it lights up, and the light shines through it, and you get a better glimpse of the inside of the die. But from the wrong angle, it just looks like you're staring at black. Now, these are glass, or some sort of glass crystal, and they look really pretty. And they sound good, and they're cool to the hand, they're cool to the touch. They have a really nice, but again, you just get that they're very hard to show off well, and they're very hard to read. It has to be from the very right angle. And so as a result, when you're playing with them at the table, you roll them, you actually have to kind of do like this, angling your head a little bit to see, and you have to have a light that is shining from them at the right angle. You almost always have to pick them up to see what they are. And that's not a terribly useful dice set to use at a table. So as grateful as I am that they sent me these, and I really am, I can't really recommend these for at the table play. I think you'd be much better off going with a better contrast die. Now, if you're looking for purely display dice, something that's beautiful to display and that looks good in certain lighting that you're not really trying to read the numbers on, well then sure, these are beautiful, but then I'm not sure exactly why you'd want dice. You might as well just get cool gemstones if you're just kind of looking at that. But the color is really nice. Now, I have to say also, one of the elements of these dice that I'm impressed by is the customer service in relation to them. When I got this D10, I don't know if it was damaged in shipping, if it was damaged on at their end before it was packaged, or if it was damaged, if I damaged it before I had a chance to examine them. But one of the corners here was a little divoted, just a little cracked. Not bad, like you don't see like veins of cracking lightning running through it or anything like that. It's just a little cracked. And I wasn't sure because the first time I rolled them, I just took them out on the counter when I was up in my kitchen, and I rolled them on the counter, and the countertop's marble, or faux marble, and so it's hard, and so it's possible, it's very possible that like it cracked there. I don't remember seeing it crack. I didn't notice it crack. Regardless, I let them know, and I said, you know, so one of the dice, one of these dice cracked. I don't know if it was me that did it or if it was in shipping or whatever, just so you know. And they were like, oh, can you send us a picture? And I did, and they were like, we'll send you a replacement. And I was like, no, you really don't have to do that. It's not that bad. It doesn't affect the die at all. But the fact that they didn't know if I broke it or not, I don't know if I broke it or not. They were still willing to just send me a replacement for that one die. That was really cool. So props to them for that. I ended up saying, no, don't send it. It's not worth it, right? Like the shipping of the die, yeah, not worth it for one little divot that may have been caused by me, may have been not their fault. I don't know. Regardless, they were willing to make it, you know, to make up, you know, to try to make it up, and I thought that was really cool of them. So props to them for that. Thank you for sending it to me. I don't know if I would recommend that set of dice. They're really cute, cool looking. They're not very useful at the table just in terms of legibility. However, this third set that they sent me, I absolutely recommend. These are the cheapest of the three. These are $40. They come in this nice leatherette, this flexible container, and it has this interesting open, like it just closes if you don't open it. If you don't hold it open with your hands, it just automatically closes. But it's, I don't know if you guys can hear that. These dice are great. They are gold hollow wireframe dice. They're metal, and they have this really cool pattern. They're hollow, so I don't know if you can tell exactly, but they're hollow. You can see through them. And they look super, super cool. They're sharp. Not like horribly sharp, not gonna like cut yourself on them or anything like that, but they're solid, spiky. The D6 is great here. Solid die. I mean, not solid quite literally because you can see through it, it's hollow. But the sound of them, I don't know if you can hear that, they ring. The sound of these dice is so much fun. These are great. They're beautiful. And you can get them in a whole bunch of different colors. This is the gold and black. But I think you can get them in like blue and silver. Anyway, I really recommend these if you're interested. Now again, they're like $40, and that's expensive for a set of dice. But if you're in the mood for kind of like a mid-range, well, expensive set. These are I would consider these luxury dice too, luxury in the mid-range, right? Then these are the sort of dice that I would recommend. And they're really, really cool. Again, I'll put a link to where you can get all of them if you use my code. It's just RedMageGM. You can also just do that when you check out. Again, I don't get anything for this except the dice themselves. They just sent those to me, and I'm grateful for them sending me these dice as a follow-up. Yeah. So anyway, check that out if you're interested. Like I said, I probably wouldn't recommend this one. This is the green dice. I you know, get them if you really like that color, but I just don't think that's probably what most people are going to need, and I don't think they're beautiful. They're not useful. That's my opinion. These are beautiful and useful, and these are beautiful and useful. These are super expensive. These ones are relatively expensive, but I think they're more reasonably priced for most people. And all three are beautiful dice. So again, thank you to Dice Nest for sending them over to me. Really appreciate that. I have also, more recently, been buying some more dice on Etsy from various shops and things like that I like. Now, these are not things that have been sent to me, but they're things that I really like. And after I bought these from the King of Crits, DNDdice.com, I contacted them and I was like, I'm going to do a review on these. Is that okay? And they were like, great. Hey, if you want, we can set you up with a commission. Now, that hasn't been set up yet. And but if they do, this is the sort of thing that I would be totally down to advertise on my channel. I mean, really, because these dice are awesome and they're really reasonably priced as well. So, King of Crits, they sent me a business card. But I got the Totally Not Zelda set of dice. And these are super cool. So they come in this cool, like, little Zelda bottle. Actually, a lot of their sets of dice can come in this bottle display. But then it's a standard set of dice. You've got 2d20s, 4d6, and then one of each of them, as well as a little token for heads and tails, d2. But what's cool about these dice is that each of them has except for this one D20. I picked the one that doesn't have anything special about it. It's just a regular D20. The numbers are all kind of like pixely, and they're a little hard to read in this particular light. And that just has to do with the green and the gold. They're actually fairly legible when I normally have them. But every other die has something kind of special for the highest number. And some of them have special things happening for every die face. So this one's a sword. I don't know if you can tell that. But the D20 is a sword. Now, I will admit, it makes it a little bit, just at a glance, funny. Because you're like, oh, is that the one? No, that's not the one. It's a sword. They look a little similar. But the one is obviously a 1 when you look at it. Anyway, those are the D20s. And then each of the other dice has something interesting for each of the highest numbers. So this is a key. This is the D10. Little key there. The D8 has a bow and arrow. I think that's really cool looking. And again, this is totally not Legend of Zelda inspired. That's what the set is called. The D4 just has a potion bottle in the center of each face. Don't know if you can see that really. The D100 just has actually the hundreds. It doesn't have anything special there. But the D12 has a little rupee, or a little coin, you might say, if you don't want to get specific to Legend of Zelda. And then each of the D6s has a different element. So one of the D6s is just heart containers. Again, trying to get this angle right. And each one has a different number of filled-in heart containers. So, you know, the 6 has all 6 filled in, and the 1 just has 1 filled in. That's great. One of these is a bomb, and each number, as it counts up, the fuse gets smaller and smaller, and then at 6, you get an explosion. So that's kind of cute. And this one is a little maze. Every face is a different set of dungeon rooms, and you can follow the actual room hallways for each face to each other room of the dungeon. And that's pretty cool. And then this is the boss room. It goes to it there at the end. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Boss room. And then finally, you have just like a different monster symbol on each face here. Different little monster symbols, and then the D6 is a sword swipe. So they're cool little, 8-bit video game inspired dice. And I saw those and I grabbed them. And now what I noticed is that there's usually a sale on their website for something. And the sale that I got was a 40% off sale. With that, these were about $20, 22, I think. Which, again, is a little expensive for a particular set of dice, but it's way better than, 35. And I think there's almost always a sale going on for some, so they kind of rotate through sales on the dice on their site. So you can check it out if you want. Again, I don't get anything for this. Maybe in future, they've talked about maybe, in future I could get something set up, like a commission. That's not in the cards right now, and I don't know. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It's whatever. That's not the point. The point is, these are cool dice, and I really like them, and I wanted to show them off. So, anyway, I got these myself, as I said. These are not sent to me. But I really like these sets. This is a cool set of dice. One more that I recently bought, and again, this is not something that anyone sent to me, or there's no commission involved or anything like that. This is just their set of dice, basically generator dice. And they're all D12s, except this one is a D20. I'll start with the D20. This one has, essentially, it's a dungeon room generator die. Let's see if I can get the focus here. There we go. And you roll it to determine what each of the room of the dungeon is. And there's a little piece of art on each page, or on each face, that shows you what that room is. And also you'll notice there's a number on each of them too. This serves as a regular D20. So you can just roll it as a D20 if you want, but it also has room names. So you can use this to help generate a dungeon. You just roll it, you say, okay, well the next room is a treasury. Okay, there's a prison, there's the Great Hall, there's storage. So if you ever want to generate a dungeon, you just have one of these nearby, and you can do that. Now these are all similar. These are all D12, so slightly different. This is a trap generator. So you have things like, the glyph trap, the monster trap, I'm trying to turn them so you guys can see, but it's kind of hard to do this upside down. A blade trap, right? Here's the arrow trap. Anyway, you get the point. This is a trap generator. So you roll, what kind of trap is there? A flame trap. Awesome. This is a monster type generator. So once again, if you just want to look what kind of monster is in the room, well, maybe it is a, let's see, Fae or a plant. Maybe it is an aberration. So I get the angle with the light there. Or maybe it is an ooze. Or maybe it's an elemental. Anyway, super cool. And you can get them in whatever color combination you want. I kind of went through and picked them. This one is a treasure generator. Here we go. Focus that. Get that focus in. There we go. Mundane items, coins. Uh-oh, trap. Mimic. You get scrolls there, coins there. More coins. Which is good. You want multiple faces with coins because coins are the most common kind of thing. You get magical items, you get artifacts, items of legend. Super cool. And then these are room actual shape generators. And I got 2 of them. That way you can roll them together and generate a hallway and a room or a stairway or a level up or down as you go. And again, these ones are also numbered, so you could just use these as regular D12s if you wanted. Just roll them together. You have, okay, so it's a hallway, or it's a room that ends with a dead end. Great. Oh, there's a level up in the middle of the hallway. Ooh, interesting. Or down. You know, you could decide if it's up or down. Maybe you have a D2 nearby. You flip that. So anyway, these are cool. Generator dice. If you want to generate a dungeon quickly, you just roll them all together, or a room. You have a menagerie, and it's a 4-exit room with actually another T intersection that opens up. There's a gas trap in the room, as well as a fiend, and there's a lot of coins as your reward if you defeat that. So you generated a room right there. Gas trap, fiend, and a menagerie with coins in a 4-exit room. Let's do one more. Ooh, humanoids in a room with a natural feature, so it's like a waterfall or something like that, or a pool. Ooh, there's a lightning trap with some mundane items, so it looks like torches or rations. Or a backpack. Actually, there's also a teddy bear here on the picture, which is hilarious. And then you have a 3-exit room with a hallway, a really long hallway that leads into it. So that's where the players are coming from. There's a lightning trap with some humanoids. Maybe the lightning trap and the natural feature connected. Maybe there's like a water pool and lightning traps have been set up so that if anyone triggers one, the whole lightning pool gets electrocuted or something like that. Anyway, these are cool. And you can get each of these individually. They're like $6 for each of them. So it's not cheap exactly. But I think they're cool and pretty worth it. And again, I think it's a really cool set, the Boulder Trap. I like these kinds of dice. I like generator dice. I always have. And it's nice that some of these, at least, not all of them, but some of them, the treasure generator, the room generator, and the room type generator, these 4, all double as actual dice because they have the numbers on them. These ones don't have the numbers, so you can't use these as regular dice, but these ones all do. So if you just want to use them as a D12 or D20, you can. Anyway, this is, I think, ViridianGaming. These dice came from ViridianGaming, and so it's a good set as well. Again, I can't say that I've gone through their whole selection or anything like that, but these dice in particular are really cool. Okay, so that's some more. Let me look at some more of these interesting ones. I know we're running. I think this might be a long video, guys. This might be a long video because I haven't gone through a lot of my dice. I still have a lot to go. There is another Etsy creator. Has a whole set of cool dice. This is Eternalverse, but I actually kickstarted some of these. So these are the Randice sets, and you can buy these on Etsy. So even though they were kickstarted, you can buy them on Etsy. They're sets of dice that, again, are generator dice. So you roll a whole handful of them and you generate something cool. This one is the character generator set. So you have an explanation in here. But you just take all these, you roll them, and you have a character. You have their high and low stat, you have their personality, you have what they might be afraid of, you have their background, eye color, gender, race, highest stat, lowest stat, I really like that, class, age, you have their size, their economic situation. Yeah, So it's a cool little set of dice, and a class. You also have a class die. So you just roll them, and you have it all. Very quick and easy if you want to generate characters on the fly. You would have to know this pretty well. But even if you don't need the whole set, you don't need necessarily eye color, although that's kind of cool. But you could use these symbols, right? You could use these symbols to generate other things. This is alignment, chaotic, lawful, or neutral. But you could use these dice for, you know, here's a race die, dwarf, elf. Well, you can't really read it, but human. You could use like just a handful of these. There's a family structure die, what they're looking for, what their values are, what their highest goals are. Here are creatures, so you could do like what they're afraid of maybe, or a monstrous race if you wanted to do, artifact creature, undead. You could do their class. You could just take a handful of these, high and low stats. I like this really a lot. So if you need a quick character generator, one of the things that I'll do is I'll just take these 3, which is the high, low stat and their race, and then I'll roll them. A gnome with high intelligence and low con. That tells me something about him, right? And if you want, you can add in gender and you can add in mood or like personality. And what is his personality? And you just roll those 4 together. Players come across a new NPC, boom. High dex, low con, angry, halfling. That tells you a lot right there, right? High dex, low con, angry halfling. It's kind of like a, oh, I don't know, you know, he's kind of like a Brooklyn pickpocket. I don't know. that's my halfling there. And then the other one is sort of a quest generator. And these have interesting symbols on them. You know, locations like castle or temple, house, tavern. You've got kind of quest, right? So like picking a pocket, beating someone up, throwing a party. I don't even know what these symbols mean anymore. I haven't looked through the book in a little bit. You have the moon phase die. You have the treasure generator die again. The terrain die, so different kinds of terrain. You could use this to generate your overland travel pretty easily. There's a dense forest there. Anyway, those are also cool. I like these a lot. You can generate things very quickly. I have to say I haven't used them all that much. The quest generator, I haven't used that as much as I've used the NPC generator, just because I think the NPC generator is the sort of thing that I like to have on the fly. Quests, I don't tend to roll those up, but if you have like, you know, you keep these near your dungeon or adventure creation binder or something rather than using them at the table, and I think that would be more useful. Now, Eternalverse also does a whole bunch of other kinds of dice, and one of them that I bought, I didn't kickstart this, is the gelatinous cube die. It's really cool. It's a D6, and it has appropriate images for each face. So that's one helmet, 2 boots. What do we have? Where's 3? 3 weapons. There we go. Where's 4? 4 swords, 5 arrows, 6 pieces of treasure. Yep, so there you go. Regular D6. And if you look at it as a comparison to a regular D6 size, it's significantly bigger. And you can get them in small size or in this larger size. I wanted the larger gelatinous cube. The nice thing is this actually doubles as a miniature. It actually does fit on most, 5x5 little square maps. So you can use it as a little gelatinous cube if you want. That's kind of cool. So anyway, they also make those. And then they make these, which I think are really cool. These are potion dice. Potion dice. So they're the full set of standard dice, but they look like little potion bottles. Right? And you roll them like this. You just roll them like that. And it stops rolling, and then you have a die. That's an 11. I don't know if you can see it too well. You can do it different ways, too. You can spin them like that. And they'll stop on a face. It's kind of hard for you to read them from here. Now, one thing I notice is that some of them, I have to say this, are not terribly well balanced. Some of them are, but some of them are not. But, I don't think you're getting these dice to use them in a regular game. They're kind of cool. You'd use them for, I don't know, special occasions, or maybe you give your players like a potion that does something associated with the number. Like maybe you give them a potion of mysterious substance, and it has a D6 different results, and they actually have to roll the D6 of the potion to use that potion. So when they drink it, they have to use an actual potion die. That'd be kind of cool. I could see doing that, use this D4 in Hero Quest. Because most potions either just do flat 4 body points, flat 2 body points, or D6. So you could use this for their Hero Quest potion dice. Because I've been playing a lot of Hero Quest recently. Anyway, these are cool. I like them. I don't use them terribly too much, but that's a 5. But they're fun anyway. That is a 13. You can roll them however you want. You can spin them across, something like that. Or you can, I prefer that. That's more fun. 16. You can also just drop them. But I like spinning them around. So these are cool. These are cool little dice. And they're nice colors, and they have a nice contrast in the light. Yeah, super cool. Speaking of Hero Quest, these are my collection of dice that I've been using for Hero Quest recently. Now, if you guys know Hero Quest dice, they're not too special. But I love Hero Quest dice. These are just the standard Hero Quest bunny rabbit dice. I also got a set of boss dice, and these have double skulls and shields and things. So these are a little bit stronger dice, which I'm going to use for boss fights. There's the standard ones. These are the ones from the Frozen Horror expansion. The blue ones, these are the standard movement dice. So just Hero Quest dice with a nice little Frontline Gaming dice tray that I got at LVO. Nice magnetic one. These are cool. I like Hero Quest dice a lot. 3 hits. Ooh, a fearsome blow. Not even the gargoyle could stand up to that. Awesome. Those are cool. I like those. I like those a lot. Oops. Where'd that guy come from? Okay. Now, let's see. Any other interesting dice that I have other than standard sets? Yeah, I have these guys, which I kind of think are kind of cool. They're like card dice. It's 9, 10, or I guess what would it be? 10, 4, 8, 10, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace. Yeah, there you go. 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace. But it's just like the face cards with a 9 and a 10 as well. I haven't found a definitive use for these yet. I'm sure there are things that I could play which would just use 9, 10 through Queen or through Ace. And they're cool, but they're just standard D6s with cards on them. You can see. Yeah, I like them. I was developing a system where cards were used with a friend of mine a few years ago. And we had a whole card deck draw system. And it was kind of fun. It was for dueling. I don't know if you could use something like these for that instead. Huh. At any rate, that's my other set there. Cool dice, once again. All right. Now, there's a handful I have here. Like these are, I haven't even opened them yet. These are Cursed City dice. I'm not even going to go through those because it's just the standard ones. I got some bigger ones here. Here's a squishy one. This is a good stress ball D20. Unfortunately, so I kickstarted this. It was just a few dollars over on Kickstarter. But unfortunately, some of the numbers have started to fade off. Actually, entirely fade off. You can't read them. You can only tell what they are by looking at the opposite side. Because, of course, we all know the opposite side of a D20, the two sides add up to 21. Always. So you can always tell what's on the other side by just putting your finger on the other side and flipping it. So even though this is blank, I know that it is a 15 because the 6 is on the other side. Anyway, I like that guy. He's a little squishy guy. If I ever get stressed at work. This is a countdown die, just a standard big chunky guy. This is a standard countdown die, so I use that for my underclock. I keep it right here. Oops, I keep it right here when I'm playing. And then when the players roll, I just count it down. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. Whoosh. This one is not the standard. 14, 13, 12, 11. This one does not have. Yeah, anyway. It's a countdown die. I like countdown dice for that purpose. You're not supposed to roll these because they're not going to be as... I mean, I guess you could. There's nothing really to stop you from rolling a countdown dice, right? It just doesn't have the numbers in the same place. Anyway. Cool guy. I like these guys. These are cool. These are time dice. So you roll these together and you have a random time of day, 7:15. If you want AM or PM, then you can just roll a D2 or decide, 1:30. Again, I think these are cool. 6 35. What I'll often do with these, instead of counting them, instead of rolling them, is I'll set them out next to my underclock, and I'll just have them modified by 10 minutes. So here's my, my hours. So say it's 8 o'clock when they set out. If they arrive at the dungeon at 8 o'clock, then I just have this count every 10 minutes. 10, 20, 30. And then that's how I keep track of turns. And then when it gets to the next hour, I move this up to 9 and have them roll for anything like torches or things like that. So I just keep these dice as my countdown. And they also serve as sort of a fidget. They sound good. Nice sound. Just some standard D6s. Try not to show you guys all the boring stuff. Here's some squishy D6s. I like these. They're kind of bouncy. Blue and yellow. These blue ones are also fading. You can barely read them now. These are nice and squishy. Okay, here are some funny ones. These are round D6s. They're just round. They have a weight in them. If you can hear that. But they have a weight in them. And you kind of roll them, and the weight will go to the bottom, and they kind of stop rolling. You kind of get them weighted in this. That's a 6. That's a 3. They're not practical, but they're kind of clever, fun novelty dice. A 1 and a 2. Round D6s. Yeah, kind of funny. 5 and a 1. Those are kind of funny. Like I said, I like those. Here's a dice within a dice, or a die within a die. You've got the numbers on the outside and a die on the inside. 5 and a 3. 3 and a 1. 4 and a 4. Yeah, these are kind of interesting. I don't know, it's kind of fun. I don't really know the purpose of this die within a die. I've seen the D20 ones, and that makes a little bit more sense because you can just roll advantage or disadvantage with one die. You can just drop it. But I don't know. I mean, I guess this is just 2d6. So anytime you need a curved 2d6 table or something, you just have this. See, this is 2d6 right here. There we go. 8. There's another 8. Rolled the same thing twice. So anyway, same thing. Another one of these weird ones. This is moving up by 4, 8, 12, 16. It's just doubling every time. 4, 8, 12, it goes all the way up to 64. Don't know exactly what the point of this is. Why? Or it starts at 2, I guess. 2, 4, 8. Yeah, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Yeah. 2. Great. Don't know what the point of that is, but it's a cool guy there anyway. Here are some odd ones. I don't know what this guy's doing here. Don't really know. He's got like a Shinigami face or something. But these ones are interesting. Got some gold-plated. They're not actually gold-plated. They're plastic, but they look gold. They're kind of fun. They're actually rather hard to read because the pips aren't colored any differently, so it's just divots. But these are odd. This is just the numbers are spelled out. I don't know why. I don't even know where I got this one from. But it's just all the numbers are spelled out. This guy is odd. I have no idea what this die is for. It's got like parts of houses. It's got like windows and ladders. And this is the roof. Like, I'm sure this is like an outline of a house. There's a door. I'm sure this has a purpose. Here's a dude, like a little stick figure guy. If you can, see that? I'm sure this has a purpose. If anybody knows what the purpose of this die is or what it's from, please let me know. Because I have no idea. What is this little guy for? I just rolled a house. I don't know what that's for. I've never known. I'm very confused. The same thing for this. I don't know what this die is for. It has letters and numbers, but they don't go all the way down through the alphabet. It just goes 0 through 9. And I think the lowest number here is O. So I don't know what the point is there. Anyway, yeah. If anyone knows what this is for, let me know. Got an 8. All right, this is a D3. It's a D6, but it's a D3. Just got 1, 2, 3, twice each. Handy little D3. Cool. There's a couple more interesting ones in here. This is a Necron die. This is what I use for my 40k, for my final saves, because I want to get that 6, which is the Necron symbol. but it's a cool little die there. And then this guy is a D7. One of those weird shaped dice that doesn't actually roll evenly. It's a D7. It's got 1 a bunch of times in a row. 4. I found it actually, well, there's a 7. Got a 7. Anyway, D7, weirdo. Okay, and then the only other thing I have in here that I think is interesting are these 2 sets of dice. I'll take these over here. Another Frontline Gaming dice tray. These ones are glow-in-the-dark, which I think is always really cool. I don't know, I doubt I'll be able to show you guys anything here. You can't really see, but they glow in the dark. Yeah, you can't really see. Those glow in the dark. And then these guys are nice, cool little tiny metal dice. They're heavy, really heavy. Nice little blue pips. They read really easily, and they're nice and really surprisingly heavy for how small they are. I like those a lot. These little D6s, I use these for 40K. Okay, we're getting down to it, guys. Only 50 minutes in. Only 50 minutes in. We're not done, but we're getting down to it. These are Blood Bowl dice. Now, I haven't even opened these up. Well, I have, but Blood Bowl is a super cool game. I've never played it. But you get, like, directional die, and you get, like, damage dice and things like that. You have a pretty cool die here. That's an interesting shape with all the different numbers here. Goes up through, what, 16? Yeah, this is a D16. And then you've got the D8, which is a football die. It's got a football. Oh, yikes, I went shooting. The 8 is a football. The others are just the standard numbers on the D8, which is great. And then you've got the D4, 4D6 here, and they've each got the different football symbols from Blood Bowl. You know, again, I haven't played Blood Bowl. These are Baron of Dice. These are Baron of Dice dice. Which Baron of Dice are good, but they're expensive. I've actually never played with them, any Baron of Dice sets. But these guys, nice. Cool. Okay, and then these guys are my DCC dice, my weird dice. I keep them in this container. These also glow in the dark, a fact that I only discovered after I bought them, and I woke up in the middle of the night and saw something glowing at me from across the room. It was so funny. So I bought them, and I just thought they were cool little frosty lich dice. These are called Unleashed Arcane dice. And I didn't notice these are Chill Touch, and I didn't notice the little glow-in-the-dark subtitle beneath them. These are just the standard weird dice from DCC. Anyway, at any rate, I bought them, and I thought, oh, these are cool looking. I like the color. I like the blue. They look kind of icy, and like I could pop one of these in my mouth, and it would taste probably pretty good. Honestly, some of these dice remind me of that skit by Key and Peele with the marbles. If you guys have not seen that, you need to look that up. Forget the marbles, boy. That's so good. Anyway, these dice glow in the dark, and once again, I doubt you can see that. I can actually see them glowing, but I doubt you can. So I bought them, put them on my cabinet. I forgot to put them away. I fell asleep. In the middle of the night, I woke up, and there are these blue floating things over in the corner of the room, and I flipped out. I didn't know what they were. I was half awake, and I was like, what? What? And I turned on the light. I was like, oh my goodness. My dice glow in the dark. And I looked down, and sure enough, there it says, Glow in the Dark series. Wow. Well, you know, it's interesting. I got more than I paid for. It's one of those rare moments where you get more than you pay for. Then I have these, which are the giant rune dice. These guys are cool looking. They're big. Right, here's a standard D20 next to this guy, so he's big. The problem is, once again, just like those dragon dice I showed right away at the beginning here, these roll terribly. I roll 1s and 4, 9, 7, 7, 13, 14, there's another 14, 8. They roll low a lot. The D20 does, at least, and I think it's just weighted that way. I noticed, I played with it for a while. Actually, I tried. I really did try with this one, but it rolled really low. This is a cool set. I really like the way it's packaged. I really like the way that it looks. 45. But it's just not my favorite in terms of its actual performance. It's fine. Not my favorite, but it's fine. Okay, so heavy dice. Let's see. I have tons of D6s, partially because I just play 40K, and partially just because I like D6s. So I'm going to show you guys just briefly some of those, because I think some of them are jumping around and getting lost. That's what they're doing. That's the problem with so many dice, is they all get lost. Okay, I'm going to try to show you guys some of these. These are all LVO packs of dice. I'm not going to open them up. I have opened them up. I mean, I just repackaged them for this, but they're just really standard D6s for LVO. So LVO, if you go to the Las Vegas Open, you get the High Rollers package, which is what I get. You get extra dice. And so every year that I've gone, I've gotten a pack of dice to go along with it. I really like these ones. They're cool looking black with green pips. So I played the Necrons. These are great dice to have for that. So I've had a couple of those sets, and then I bought a few. Here's one more of them. These are the latest. They're kind of a greenish with gold. I like those. These are sets that I bought. I like these red ones because they're really useful for damage. They stand out. And then these are kind of a greenish blue or greenish gold that I bought. Anyway, packs of D6s. I have hundreds of D6s. Too many D6s. Like way too many. And then I have these, which I don't know what this is for, guys. You have to, again, if someone knows, you'll have to tell me. But they're like shield dice and sword dice, and they have different numbers of swords and shields on them. But they don't add up to 6, and there are some that are blank. So these aren't, you can't use these as regular dice. But they're for some game. But I honestly don't know where I got them. I have no idea. They're cool looking, they're brightly colored, and they have specific symbols. So you could use them for games. Like this one has 3 swords and a gem. But what's the point of them? And I don't know what game they're from. And they came from a package that has long since disappeared. So if anybody knows what those are from too, let me know. I don't know where I got them. Okay, we're coming up on the end here, guys. I'm getting real close. So here are some dice from the Welcome to Night Vale RPG. Now, they're basically just regular sets of D20s. They're the full set of dice, but they're really interesting looking. This one is really kind of cool. They're speckled and sparkly. They look kind of like galaxy dice, and they're really sharp. All of them. The D4 in particular is really sharp. All of them at their highest number have the Welcome to Night Vale eye, which I don't know if you guys can see there. There we are. Welcome to Night Vale, dear listeners. They're all cool looking, but man, they are sharp. They hurt. The white ones don't, but these black ones are sharp cut. Even the D20 has kind of, the 2 D20s, even they kind of have pointy edges, but any of the ones that have like the D8 or the D6, especially the D4, like I actually kind of, you put it in the dice bag and you kind of, ow, when you grab it. So pointed. I've never ever felt a die that is this sharp. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. At any rate, it hurts. It hurts. And they each come with a little coin here for flipping. I've noticed a lot more dice recently have come with a D2, which is just a little coin. Anyway, so the Welcome to Night Vale dice, they come with a nice little drawstring bag, which here's my problem, guys. I need to find a solution to my dice problem. I need to find a way to store them. All right, a couple more sets. This is from the One Ring. 2 sets of dice from the One Ring. The beautiful red and white dice. D6s and D12s. That's what the One Ring uses. The D6s have these, just the normal numbers, but then the highest number has the little. Again, you can't really see it from this angle with the light. Maybe this one will show up a little better. There we go. That shows up a little better. You can see the little symbol in the corner. And then, of course, the D12 has both the Eye of Sauron and Gandalf's symbol, as well as 1 through 10. So it's a D12, but it doesn't go all the way up through 12. You can use them, of course, as a D12 if you want. But those are cool looking. I like those. The One Ring has just so beautiful. Every element of it is beautiful, and the dice are no exception. I want more. I want different colors. I want different designs, but cool little dice there. And then finally, I think these are the last ones I'm going to go through, because I have a whole bunch more like in the Pounds of Dice set, which are just kind of generic dice. I have Dragonbane dice. I think the only thing interesting about the Dragonbane dice is that you have demons and dragons on the symbol. You have the demon skull for the 20 and the dragon for the 1. You can't see that. You can't really even see that. That's the symbol right there for the dragon. And that's because it's a roll under system. You're trying to roll low. So dragons, which are good guys in the Dragonbane system, despite the name, are good. And so you want to roll 1s. You don't want to roll demons, which are the 20s. I have a whole bunch of those. Then I've got these weird dice with, they're just standard D6s, but they've got little skulls. They've got little skulls on them, once again. They're kind of piratey D6s. All right. Last one I have is this. This is the dice from Torchbearer, and it also has some cool coins. Torchbearer has some interesting dice. They're wood. Actually, just put all everything out there. Yeah, so the dice bag itself is really cool. It's nice. But then it also comes with these cool wooden dice. I don't really know how to play Torchbearer, I have to admit. I read through the rules once and I was confused. I did a review of it back when I had just read them, and so I was more familiar with how the game worked, and I've since forgotten. But then it also came with these cool coins. So you have some, these are metal, some bronze ships with some cool designs there. You've got these square coins, nice holes in the middle. And then you've got these round coins. And they're all metallic, nice, cool metal. All right, well, I have tons of more dice, but they're more generic. I mean, I've gone through some generic dice here anyway, but the rest of the dice sets that I have are more just, you know, pound of dice filler. I probably have twice as many, and I have another maybe 8 or 9 complete sets, but they're all just hodgepodged of, you know, kind of that filler sets. I have some wooden dice in there. They're kind of cool looking, but otherwise, that's pretty much it. Now, if I had to pick a favorite die that I have, as I said, it's not hard. Right now, currently, my favorite are those dragon scale dice. Those are my absolute favorite. If I had to pick a runner-up, it's the blue Dice Nest gem dice. And then probably the not Legend of Zelda dice. Now, the other Dice Nest, the metallic ones, are really cool too. Oh, it's hard to say. I like most of my dice. I like all my dice, but I want more. I want more because I'm a dice goblin. Not a dice goblin. I am a dice dragon, as I should say. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, for anybody who made it this far, I'm going to be doing a challenge. So anyone else who wants to, I challenge you guys to show off your dice collection. And maybe it's just one set, maybe it's one die that you really like, maybe it's a short about your favorite die. Whatever it is, you take it and run with it. But I think it would be fun if we got a little community spirit and a little community connection, because, you know, back in the day, let me ramble here for a minute or two. In the early days of the YouTube community, the DungeonTuber community back in the day, I'm not even sure if they called it the DungeonTubers back then. It was just D&D YouTube. There was the D&D RPG Brigade, and it was mostly on Facebook, but they did stuff on YouTube too. There's a whole bunch of guys that would post videos and video responses back when that was a thing. YouTube lets you tag videos as video responses to other videos. And people would do videos back and forth all about their favorite different questions and topics of the day. And now that YouTube does things like collaborations, and now that YouTube does things like letting you at people, I've always been kind of surprised that there hasn't been more of that in the community. People putting forward videos and responding to other people in other videos. And I know there's comments and things like that, obviously, and people are engaged. And maybe there's more of that going on than I'm aware of, because I'm not the most engaged in the RPG community. But I think we should do that here. And I know there were people who, Elder Goblin Games, for example, who did January last year, and I imagine that will happen again this year, and I'd like to participate in January myself. So, yeah, I think we could do something fun for November, Dice November. Who knows what? We'll figure out something. But anyway, that's what I would like to suggest, is that everybody who I tag do something about dice in an upcoming video. It can be as long or as short as you want, and obviously no real pressure. All right, guys. Well, I hope this has been interesting to everybody. Thank you once again to those of you who have been supporting the channel, either by sending me stuff or just by watching. It's really, really incredible. Especially in the last few months, I've gotten a lot more subscribers, and I've gotten a lot more, I don't know, it seems like active subscribers, and that's really been really fun for me. So yeah, I hope people have enjoyed this video. Those few who made it to the end, congratulations, you're the happy few. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, guys, that'll do it. Hope it's been interesting, and I'll see you all in another one.